You guys, so I've had some issues with the car since the last video. The last video, everything was fine. But as you can see behind my car, there's a really big pine tree and another tree over there that keeps dropping these little helicopter type things down and a bunch of other tree bits onto my car, which led to, in case you didn't know, this is also, I'm told, like a very famous problem or something like that, is that the rear door leaks. I don't know why, but the back seat was like almost like a fucking pool. So I don't know if you can see the outline of where the water ran down. It seems to have also ran down here. I don't know where it's coming from because none of the Lexol on this has been washed away, so I don't know where exactly the water came from, other than that it ran up over this. So my back seat here was like a pool. It's still slightly, just a little damp, but I think that just might be the stuff that I sprayed on here to help dry it out, because the rest feels pretty dry. Slight dampness, but it doesn't, kind of oily. I think it might be the product that I put on here. But I used this, which is a little unorthodox, but it says, if it's safe on my head, it's safe on the carpet. As you can see, there's no discoloration except for some stones in there from my shoe when I was stomping that towel into the carpet. So I still have this towel here laid out to absorb some of it, and there's no smell either, but yesterday there was. I don't know how long it's been like that, because the day that I made the upcoming mods video for this, everything was good. But I'm told that the water runs down the window, goes into the door, and then so it's supposed to drain somewhere down here. Let's see if I can get under here and show you guys. I don't see any drain plugs, but they must be behind this weather stripping. Hope I don't get stung by no cow killer while I'm down here. Let's see, and if you can see that one right there, that I think this here is a plug. Let's see, that little green one, but I'm not sure. I think they just hold it in place, because there's another one where my thumb is. Finally cut the nails too. But I don't see where this shit drains. Unless it drains right in there, that hole in the corner. But I don't see anything in it. But even if that was it, it would be right up here. The water wouldn't drain down and then go over into the seat of my car. Another thing that I really like about my car is, do you see how clean the underside of my car is? There is like almost zero rust on my car from what I can see. And I love this car, but man, she's like a whale when it comes to stuff like this. I mean, look at this. No rust at all, just dust. Oh shit! Whoa. A wasp. Oh shit, it's flying into my car. Oh wait, no, it's not. There it goes. Oh, fuck this shit. Ouch. My arm. There's no cow killers, but there's a fucking red wasp. So, another thing that I have been thinking about is that I owe $17 on this car, and then with that's the payoff for the car, 17 something, and I had to have an extension on it because when I was homeless, I was trying to save up all the money that I could to find a place and not dip into my savings, because that the savings stuff is just there for when shit really hits the fan. And I guess being homeless would be like one of those, but it really wasn't, because I was couch surfing, but then that whole situation was shitty. And then I found this place, which is, it's decent, but Now, the thing that I'm thinking about is that, taking on another car note. Now, I've found a few GTs that are, they're high mileage. They're around 100,000 miles and up. I found one that was like 60 or 70 or 50, and it was selling for like, I think 15. And I was thinking, all right, so here's what I'm getting. They took a pretty good chunk out of that shitty 401 for that shit job. I'm looking for the wasp before I get close to the car, and they're giving me a 5600 max, so that's not bad, for enduring 2 years of hell at that dump, and walking out with 5600 after taxes. And now, one of the things that I'm really debating on is, should I just, I really do want that GXP bumper, so that bumper is a definite must. I mean, I'm buying that bumper, even if it just sits in the garage, or in my second bedroom with the HR springs that I've held on for like almost 3 years. If it sits in there for a few years, that's fine, but I was thinking of just putting that money aside and, saving up a little bit more so that I could buy one of those GTs and, have a second car. Use this one as my daily, and then use the GT for fun, because the GTs are famous for having the lifter issues. Mine currently has a timing chain issue. It's not really that bad. Let's see. Let's remote start it and see if she makes that sound. It's usually the first start of the day. Did you hear that little slight tick sound? But it's nothing like before, where the entire car would almost shut off, or it would sound like the entire engine would explode. But again, it's a base, so what do you expect? But with the GTs, the lifter issues, and then my friend's GT had like some weird X show up on his car, and it's kind of worries me about getting trading my car up, which is perfectly fine except for that chain issue, which I have a friend who could help me, or not do the work for me, but supervise every now and then, and so that I can learn how to do this stuff on my own. But looking at the prices of GTs, I mean, it would be like so nice to have a second one, even if it just stays parked a good deal of the time until I can come up with funds for the cam and a whole bunch of research on what to do to it, and a tune, or borrow someone's tuner to shut off that DOD crap, because some people have done that to their cars, and that seemed to have worked for a while, or at least a good enough while for them to save up enough to get a cam done to the car and do all the research that's needed with upgrading your cam and stuff. I want to open this to let it air out a little bit, because it gets pretty hot in here with the tint. But the condition of my car is just extremely nice. It's like, I don't want to, trading up my car for one, they'll probably only give me about $7 grand, maybe $5 grand at the most is what they will give you. And then they'll turn around and sell this exact same car for around 13 grand. 13 grand for a base with 111,000 miles on it. You'll get $5,000. Can you believe that shit? $5,000 for this beautiful car that's in, a perfectly good condition, except for that water thing. But thankfully it didn't mold. I mean, it smelled like it, but after I sucked up that water, the smell went away, and everything else is pretty good. I mean, this is what they would give you, only $5 grand, $5 to $7 grand for this. And they get a perfectly nice car that's practically rust free underneath. Let's go back under there and make sure I don't step on no calculars. Those are those flightless wasps, or velvet ants, whatever you want to call them. I mean, there's rust on those hinges, but on those flanges, but that's been there forever. Can you see all the other stuff underneath? It's like the car is in like amazing condition, but again, they don't salt the roads here, and if they do, I usually take a power washer to my car and wash the underside. That, and I've also ran over a lot of possums too. So that's another thing to think about. It's like, man, it's like I'm so close, and it's like I don't want to dip into my savings to get a GT just because, you know, like I said, rainy days and shit. But on the other hand, you know, 5600, well, that covers the GXP. That, you know, that leaves me with what, $4,000 or something like that to set aside. And, you know, if the car is like 11,000, or I mean, I've seen most of them for 15,000. I mean, just save up a little bit more to drop that down. But I think that's the plan. So I don't think I'll be doing all of that, all the crazy stuff that I wanted to do to this one. I think I'll just get the GXP bumper and call it a day. Not sure if I'll even paint it, but I definitely know I'll be buying that GXP bumper. And maybe I'll just install the HR springs that I have and forget the coils, you know, and forget all the other stuff, and just save everything else so that I can get, you know, a second one. Because, I mean, oh my god, do you guys see this angle of the car? The cars are just beautiful. The lines, everything. You know, everyone's likes the SS, and I mean, it's a nice car, but it's, it just looks so bland. I do, the only color that I seem to like it is in white, just because the white SS looks so aggressive when you see it in person compared to videos and pictures. And it's sort of like, but, you know, when you see a G8, then, you know, it's just like, holy shit, that looks really good. This is just a really good view. I really like how that sort of, you know, comes to a beak. The lines of the car, if you can make them out right there, those is definitely a really nice car. You probably can't see all of them, you know, on a white, but I mean, the car is just nice. So definitely another thing to consider. And I mean, I really think that that's what I should do. And, you know, slowly purchase parts to replace on the GT, because I know I'll replace the headlights on them and the fog lights, and and I know I keep saying that these lights are horrible, but they're not that bad. I mean, most of the rain has peeled off most of the outer peeling, whatever that was, but on the interior there's dust in there because I ran without the cats. There's a water spotting on the inside of the lens. I don't know if I can stick something in there through there, maybe like a bendy stick with a microfiber, and start, you know, brushing around in there to get it out, because, you know, I don't really want to have to take the whole bumper off and the lights and then have the whole bumper repainted again. But I think that's what I'll do. I think that will be the plan, or at least it seems like that's the right thing to do. And, you know, if anything ever does happen where, you know, God forbid, shit does hit the fan, I can always, you know, it's a lot easier to sell off a car that you've already paid off, because you get all that money, versus then selling a car that you owe on, because, you know, you keep none of that money and you're left without a car. So another thing to consider. And, you know, you can get a GT now pretty cheap. I mean, I just saw a very nice base, a mint base. The interior was a 10. The outside looked like a 10. I didn't see any defects on it. Selling for $8,700. Private seller for a gray G8 base. And I was really tempted, you know, I was figuring that, you know, if they gave me that, my full $8,000, that's what I would get, you know, just buy a second one. But I think that is definitely what I'll do, is just pick up a second G8. So I guess back to square one. I'll work a little bit more extra and such, just so that I can get more cash. But maybe I'll just install the springs on this car, buy the bumper, and install the HR springs just to give the car a nice rake look, even if I just do the fronts, you know. I really do like how the stance G8 sits, how they're, you know, kind of slanted like this. So, I don't know, hope this was somewhat helpful. If you have any advice or, you know, suggestions, I'm always listening. But I think we can all agree that that's like the best thing to do, right? Have both G8s or just drive the GT and leave this one as my fun car, just because this one's in extremely good condition except for that little defect in the bumper that I don't know how I got on it. I do need to repaint the grills. I know that will be happening, but it's like I just can't let go of this car, so might as well just buy a second one, right?